Hello viewers, welcome to SKTV News. You're watching the Manipur Files. And on today's episode, we're going to look at the exit poll that came out last evening, plus run-up to the Manipur Lok Sabha election results. In a couple of days, that's June the 4th, election results will be out. To discuss this in depth, look at how Manipur stands in terms of Lok Sabha election results. We're joined in our studio in Imphal by ELANGBAM Johnson, BJP Manipur Pradesh spokesperson. Tamo Johnson, welcome. We're also joined by KH DEVABRATA, working president of Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee. Oja DEVABRATA, welcome. Last but not the least, Oja O NABAKISHORE Singh, vice president JDU Manipur. Oja NABAKISHORE, welcome. So let's go straight to Tamo Johnson. Tamo Johnson, it must be good news for you because Prime Minister Modi predicted 400 plus. Most of the exit polls are showing very close to it, in fact. I'm not sure how you stand on that. Maybe you will say that, you may cross 400. So that given the national figure, how do you look at Manipur? Do you think both inner and outer, do you still have a chance?
I think the general figure that has been given out last night election exit poll, I think it's a reflection of the people's choice, and it has turned out to be the mandate of India. So probably all the 12 survey teams that are conducting this exit poll have shown that India is coming back to power for the third time. So probably, but it's a almost true story going to happen 2 days from now. So I think nothing is new to us because we are all expecting to reach around 370 for BJP alone and 400 plus for NDA. So at the moment we are little short of that figure, but there are also chances of formation of new formations after the election results are out, and there are in Indian democracy we have seen this happen in so many states after the elections results were out. So probably post-poll alliance, post-result alliance are still existing in India. That could happen in any site. So probably our expectations are still intact. And in case of Manipur, the national projections for Manipur inner has been given to the Congress, which I am totally not happy or satisfied with the result. I think BJP is winning the inner seat, and also NPF is winning the outer. So we are almost keen to that result to come. It is only 2 days from now. So I think that also in the case of Manipur, I think BJP will definitely win the inner parliamentary constituency.
So in Tamo Johnson words, both inner and outer the NPF, which is part of NDA, supported by BJP Manipur, and in inner BJP will win, is what Tamo Johnson's predictions are. Oja DEVABRATA, coming to you today when the results came out, assembly election results for Sikkim and Arunachal. Arunachal, it was a clean sweep, BJP 46 out of 60 seats, Congress managed to win just 1, and in Sikkim, both BJP and Congress drew nil. The existing party, SKM, won 31 out of 32. Also, like Tamo Johnson mentioned, Tamo Johnson is shocked that the inner Manipur parliamentary constituency has been given to Congress. I'm sure you're happy about it, it's your party. So how do you look at the results for both outer and inner? Because outer, there are few surveys conducted showing that your party is winning. In fact, outer is winning. Yes. So your predictions and projections.
No, regarding these things, exit poll, we did not comment on everything because after 2 days it will come out. So at the moment, the one who gets more in the exit poll will be happy. And we claim we also get to 95. And our total seat contested is 328. The rest is our allies. So nobody knows what it could. It will come out after the election is counted. The EVMs are counted. Till that we have to wait. If BJP results comes near about the exit polls, we shall congratulate to BJP and we'll be happy to do them to take over the power. But we'll be happy the two engines, double engine, again working in Manipur to resolve the crisis. That is our priority. And if Congress comes to power, India bloc comes, we'll do it probably in 2 to 3 months' time. That is our prediction.
Sure.
Of course, that's what we wish we must do.
Sure.
And we wished BJP, once coming to power for the third time, must have the courage and the vision to resolve this crisis.
Resolve the current crisis.
That is the point.
Yes, we'll dive deep into the current crisis.
Secondly,
of course.
Manipur crisis, Manipur issue.
Yes.
Outer, we have equal this ground reality to in outer constituency also.
Right.
And as well as the inner. Of course, the public feeling that has been demonstrated, we have to win it.
Right.
Because it is public that will win, celebrate it. Therefore, we don't need to comment much on the subject.
Right.
We will win the vote. If something goes wrong, so it is for the government to ponder about it.
Sure, sure. And so in our opening round, both BJP and Congress, their viewers feels that they still have a chance, and exit polls are just exit polls. We'll wait for the results in a couple of days from now. Ozan NABAKISHORE, coming to you, BJP's sources indeed tells us that people voted for BJP this time, especially in Manipur, because of few things. The NRC thing, the FMR, the illegal immigration crackdown, the border fencing, etc. This could, give them a chance to win. On the other hand, Congress and the India bloc, the opposition who fought together, say that, there are many things that they're saying, but 70 to 80% of Muslim votes, particularly in Manipur, voted for Congress. That is one of the reasons they have a chance. What's your take on it?
Yeah, coming to this Manipur's election, of course, normally the Manipur people have been always with the political party in power at the center.
Right.
But this time, this prolonged, ethnic crisis in Manipur,
yes,
which has been going on for almost 1 year, and the failure of both the central and the state government of the BJP have really made people very frustrated. That's why. Both in the hills and in the plains, most of the people didn't want to vote for BJP.
Right.
So I anticipate that in both parliamentary constituencies of Manipur,
right,
people have voted against the BJP. So it's quite likely that when both the seats may go to non-BJP parties. In the case of the Valley, it may be Indian National Congress. In the case of again, similarly in the outer also Indian National Congress.
Okay.
But besides that, when we look at the projections by these exit poll parties, it has to be, sometimes the exit poll predictions are very close to what really happens
yes,
at the time of counting. But in many instances, there are lots of gaps, lots of departure from the real result. But most of the projections, most of the exit poll is indicating majority for the BJP and the NDA.
That's correct.
So anyway, that's good for BJP. But nevertheless, the kind of the narratives and kind of the propaganda used by especially by the Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi during this election campaign is very, very, really below the standard, I would say. So using lots of divisive languages at political party meetings, calling, these Muslims as infiltrators or those who have more children and the Gusbaiti and all these, these are very unexpected from an office of the Prime Minister.
Right.
So I am personally, or rather most of the educated people are very upset with the kind of the propaganda, kind of the untruth used by the Prime Minister.
Right.
But nevertheless, BJP has been able to really able to get the vote because of some welfare measures,
right,
like like this Prime Minister's Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. So where this free ration of 5 kilograms, which was introduced during the COVID lockdown period, has been extended for the next 5 years. That was done merely keeping the election in mind,
Right.
So this has really benefited the BJP. So it's all welfare measures like these free rations and giving of 6,000 rupees to the farmers and many other welfare schemes which have really helped the poor people in India,
Right.
and especially this what you call LPG scheme, Ujwala scheme, and the free ration, because especially the people who go to the polling station to vote are the poorest of the poor.
Yes.
And since the benefits are coming from BJP, and that benefit is identified with the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in many schemes his photos are used to project that Mr. Modi is the one who is giving. So people, especially poor people, poor women in return have really must have given votes. That's why the poll projections are showing the votes in favor of the BJP.
Right. NABAKISHORE made some valid points. I'll take those to Tom Johnson. But Tom Johnson, two very important things in context of Manipur. Will this couple of things give positive chances to Congress, your opposition? First, your allies like the NPP, the NPF, the independent MLAs, they did not campaign for BJP candidates, especially in the Manipur parliamentary constituency, number one. Number two, the silence of Modi throughout the crisis. So these points coupled, will these, you think, give Congress positive chance? What do you think?
First thing is Modi's the false narrative created by the opposition, especially the Congress, about Modi's silence. It's a false narrative. During the height of time of our issues, Manipur crisis, in the parliament, Congress moved a no confidence motion.
True.
What was the reason behind that? Was that Manipur issue. But complementary and bringing to that issue to the parliament, they have also raised so many issues along with it.
Sure.
So the main objective of the Congress at that point of time was political. So there was no serious concern about our state. If that was alone the reason, then the whole day could have been debated on Manipur issue. It has never happened. And when the Home Minister formally sent out letters to these political parties to have a discussion on that Manipur issue, they rejected it. So the main person who is dealing with this issue is the Home Minister of India.
That's right.
When he is ready to discuss about Manipur issue on the floor of the parliament, why the political parties, opposition political parties, have not accepted the proposal and discussed the matter on the floor of the House. It was not done. It was never done. So a false narrative being created by the Congress was forcibly tried to dump into the hearts and minds of the people of Manipur, but they fail. And despite all these things happening, the government of India and the government at the state have continuously praised and tried to deliver very crucial issues like FMR, then NRC, then also border fencing, then also this biometric survey of all the illegal Burmese Myanmarese migrants. Now they have continued their work. So people at the end of the day realize who is doing all these things in the interest of the people of Manipur. So I think we have no doubt that the mandate will come out positively for BJP, and the reason behind this is the good thing that the government at the center and the state have done. The silence of Modi has been created by the opposition, and Modi has talked about Manipur issue, and also I think it is one of the longest duration of time that the Home Minister of India have spent regarding explaining what is happening on the ground regarding Manipur on the floor of the parliament. So I think probably the wrong and the false narrative created by the opposition never buy out. They did try their best, but it never reach out to the people. At the end of the day, people realize everything, and I think 2 days from now we will see the exact result.
Sure, Tom Johnson, but if you can add on to why your allies did not campaign, despite their absence from the campaign, you still think you have a chance?
There may be many reasons. For example, in Kaishamthong, say I am a BJP candidate for Kaishamthong.
Sure.
Maybe our MLA might have some reasons. but I have tried my level best to reach out to the people.
Okay.
And we have tried in similar cases where we don't have BJP MLAs.
Right.
There the BJP candidates are doing almost at par with the BJP MLAs.
Right.
So I think at the end of the day also I think that result will show everything.
Sure. So Thomas Johnson says despite these, Thomas Johnson is still, confident that his party will still excel in a couple of days when the results come out. DEVABRATA, also to you, like I mentioned earlier, let's name the candidate, your candidate in Inner Manipur Parliamentary Constituency, Dr. Bimal Akoijam. There have been ideas floating around that his active participation in many key issues. In Manipur issues, he's been taking active participation, not just this crisis, but other issues as well. This may have connected well with the voters, and that is what would give him a chance, is what people talk about. So, do you think that's the only thing, or do you have other backings to say that your candidate in Manipur parliamentary will come out successful?
Why we have chosen Professor Bimal is the matrix of the whole the election now.
Right.
Because it changes every perspective of the there's a particular election, Lok Sabha election, that the BJP thought about. Suddenly everything changed within 22-23 days before the election. Professor Bimal just popped up and everything fell on the part of the BJP to protect its own interests. Why? Because Professor Bimal is not chosen by Congress alone. Because it is in the mind of the public that, oh, this guy, if he comes into the election, it will be good for the state. So we analyze it. We analyze from the month of November.
Right.
So we started doing that, and in the middle we also conducted surveys from our own party. We engaged people from outside the state and inside the state, and we conducted a survey, and he came out to be the top most important candidate that we may find, because he applied ticket silently in the month of November, December. Okay. So we were observing, party was observing how he could perform in the election. Then we have given the public and people of Manipur each chosen candidate. That's what our definition is. Okay. Secondly, why we have chosen a very young and fresh person who even did not join the day the ticket was given. He did not join the Congress party. But there is no such rule in Congress party that a ticket seeker should be primarily a congressman. Because any good man, any performing person, any promising person could be party candidate at any point in time. That door also we want to open so that promising leaders and the people who want to be leaders of the society, of the political leaders, they are welcome and will be welcome in Congress party. That is the signal and that is the principle that we have opened with Professor Bimal. We knew he is going to crack the whole thing. And he is why we have chosen him. This question is a very valid question to be asked. Why? Because Professor Bimal's teaching profession engaged with psychology, particularly public psychology, and most importantly in developing society. The conflict and the conflict of interest in the developing society, the individuals, the state issues, how it is mixed up, how it goes along, particularly in a state of like Manipur, in particular with the double engine government, created and orchestrated the crisis in Manipur. We need a person who is especially knowledgeable about this whole crisis. How it happened, how it could be solved, how the people are made confused by the particularly party in power, why the Prime Minister did not like to come and interact with the people of Manipur when 5-6 people were being accidentally killed somewhere. He went there and he consoled the people. The whole state is suffering. Everyone, not including the living one who are today as citizens and as people here, but those who are going to be born, for them also they have created a huge crisis for this state. It will be very difficult to grow Manipur in the next 20 years, how to grow about. That's why I said in the opening of this discussion that if suppose by circumstance the exit polls are correct and the BJP comes again in power in center, good, we'll see how they will solve the problem, particular crisis, and they return to the normalcy that we were before 3rd May. Suppose, why? I ask one question. If the state of India, a sovereign country having the 6th largest army, going to be one of the 3rd most powerful economy in the next 5-10 years, how a country like in India, a state like Manipur, it is a federal structure, a federal body, a federal state, in the country of India, in the sovereign country of India, how state find it important to arm its civilians? The civilians are the resources of the state.
Right.
We should be engaged in the productive role. The army, whoever joins the army, they are dutifully to protect the state and engage in the crisis. The army, the security forces, the state forces. Why should the innocent youths, particularly, should be allowed to guard the villages, to die for the villages, to die for the state? Why? Why the state was silently seeing all this? No comment. Even today, I have seen when the national disaster force is there, when the state are supposed to call out the national disaster force, why the civilians are doing all these things? Of course, momentarily they are required, but permanently, in permanent future, is the government who should save the public. If necessary, they can call to the public, come forward, help us. All will help us. Even resources also we can share. Why not? If the country is not there, where are we? If the state is not there, the former Manipur is not there, where are we today? Where we will be? These are questions to be asked. It's a very complex and it's confused state of mind.
Right.
I must say, BJP must not claim they are doing the public work, the best public work. It should not be claimed. It is a duty for them. They are in power. They also fully have not done. What I discussed 2 minutes back about the public being armed.
So it's it's the duty of the government, duty of the government, be it Congress or BJP, to protect the civilians, and also with regards to the crisis that we've had over a year. Devabrata mentioned even during the poll,
the capacity of the two governments are questionable now. That's why we're amused. We are amused.
Absolutely,
we are amused. If BJP comes again in power, how do they solve? We want to see if they could solve in another 1 month after they come in power, then to power. Then we have many questions to be asked.
Sure.
Amit Shahji on 9th May, he in a public meeting said, while in the parliament, he agreed to the version of the state that it is illegal migrants engaging in narco-terrorism, but because of their activity and actions in the agenda, the state is in flames. That was what was put up in the parliament.
Right.
In the matter they raised by Congress party.
Sure.
Now out of the parliament, now in the election rally, he was saying, there is no terrorism in Manipur. And we will ask, once we come into power again, we will ask the both communities, Meiteis and Kukis, to sit down and resolve the issues, crisis. What is this? This is another crisis. This is another crisis, a dimension where the public has been left confused.
Right.
And helpless.
Those are valid points. Nabakishore, before I come to you, let me just get reaction to that from Tamo Johnson just for a minute. Johnson, what would you like to say about Devabrata's claim?
The irony is, I'll just come to the first part. The irony is that the candidate of Congress, Sri Akoijan Bimol, during his whole entire election campaign, has ever spoken about the party, the Congress party. I've never heard of him praising or his allegiance in joining this party as a congressman. The irony is still there. And the second part is, the narrative is continuum. There is no change in the narrative. What our Home Minister has said, that now whoever has instigated this whole crisis, maybe the narco-terrorists or who are having a very acute political interest, they have tried and managed to polarize the communities on a community level. That is what we need, ways and means to redress the issue and to bring back to normalcy. That is perhaps our Home Minister has said. The interpretation of the Congress is always negative and falsity, and that is why they have also tried again and again to pursue for the negative results, but it has never worked out. So I believe in what our Home Minister has said, that whatever instruments, negative instruments, whatever vested groups that have tried to polarize our communities who are living side by side for the last so many years, we need a new ways and means to bring these groups together, to bring back to normalcy. I think that is the finest silver line. So I think perhaps we have no other, nothing to speak about more than that. And I think we will try to resolve this issue as soon as possible. Hopefully. When the third Modi government came to power at the center.
Town Johnson is very, very confident that third term of Modi will come to power, and hopefully Town Johnson says will resolve the crisis of Manipur at the earliest. And of course, Congress party, like Oja Devabrata says, will remain as a strong opposition and will always question. Oja Devabrata just mentioned that even after forming a new government, yes, if the number doesn't work out in Congress's favor or the India bloc's favor, Oja Devabrata's party will still be a strong opposition and question the government, which is very, very good in a democracy. NABAKISHORE, another point to be noted, even for our viewers to know, is that in Lok Sabha elections, especially in the context of Manipur, so far, except for one candidate from CPI, Ngangom Mahindra, I'm sure you may remember, correct me if I'm wrong, except for the CPI candidate Ngangom Mahindra, till date in Manipur's Lok Sabha election, every Lok Sabha election has been won by ruling party, especially in inner Manipur parliamentary constituency. Now that the exit polls is showing a clean sweep for NDA, NDA may not cross 40. Town Johnson says it will cross 40 like Modi's target is, but 400, I beg your pardon. So, NABAKISHORE, like I said, Ngangom Mahindra, the only CPI candidate so far in Manipur who's won despite being in opposition. Do you think will open a new chapter if Ozabimol Akoizum comes, or will still stick to the new old style of ruling party, whether BJP or Congress still winning Lok Sabha elections in a Manipur parliamentary constituency?
See, the context in which the present election is held is quite different.
It's different, yes.
Different from the other Norman time.
That's right.
I also contested election in 2019.
Absolutely.
Because I lost by small margin.
Yes.
So what happens is true that the ruling party has always an advantage because they have power, they have money, they have everything.
Yes.
So that gives them an advantage. But so far as this election is concerned, the expectation of the people, especially from the sitting MP and minister of BJP, Sri Dr. R.K. Ranjan, is that he was supposed to perform his duty to protect the interests of the people of Manipur.
Sure.
He never did that. He never raised a voice in the parliament, even when this Manipur situation was discussed in the no confidence motion. Maybe because he didn't have the courage to speak up, or he was rather subdued by the central leadership of BJP.
He made that statement. He was subdued.
Yeah, he was not allowed to speak. So because of that, Mr. R.K. Ranjan also became very unpopular in Manipur.
Right.
His house was burned down by the local people or by the local Mera Paibi or whatever 2 times. So that kind of the pulse of the people was known to the BJP leadership.
Right.
That's why he was not given a ticket for the second time. Maybe he is so unpopular and he will not be able to win the election.
The winnability.
Yeah, that is one aspect. Second aspect is that some frustration of the people, and both the state government of BJP and the central government's failure to resolve this complicated crisis, that really is the main concern of the people. Even now, say what is the expectation of the people of Manipur?
Yeah.
Most of the people would like to have the restoration of peace and normalcy. So the question is that, suppose most likely BJP government will come back to power at the center. Will they take interest to solve the problem of Manipur? Of course, the Home Minister has assured, I mentioned somewhere, that he will make all efforts to bring solution to the Manipur. But main problem is that he keeps on changing his goalposts. Sometimes he talks about the terrorism, sometimes he talks about the illegal immigrants. Recently, in an interview to PTI, he was talking about mistrust or the trust deficit between the two communities. It shows his complete lack of understanding of Manipur problem. If the central government, like a home minister, does not understand the problem happening in Manipur, it's quite difficult to expect him to solve the Manipur problem. But nevertheless, I hope the state government of Manipur gives the correct kind of feedback or information about what is happening in Manipur. The narratives which is now being spread here and there, it does not capture the full picture of the root causes of the problem. But expectation of the people is that, or the utterance of the people is that, if the central government is willing, it can solve the problem. And we also hope that central government, if it pays some attention, it should be able to solve the problem. And maybe they were waiting for this election to get over. Maybe I think they didn't want to disturb the equation or any kind of a problem and situation, political situation in Manipur till this Lok Sabha election. Now the Lok Sabha election is over. The most likely BJP will come to the center, and we hope that they pay attention to this problem, because the solution to Manipur can only be brought by the central government, neither by the communities themselves nor by the state government. They don't have the kind of the capacity to bring solution. So we only appeal to the central government. You really be serious about solving this problem, pay attention to it, call all the stakeholders to negotiating table, and within a time frame try to solve the problem. The route of solving problem they can devise, whether it's by using force or by negotiation or by what, they will know it better. So only hope that Manipur has really gone down in terms of economic position, also in terms of mistrust, also in terms of everything. So this requires immediate attention of the central government.
Right, immediate attention of the central government is what Oja Nabakishore is seeking, and like Oja Devabrata also mentioned earlier, in case assuming that NDA comes to power, they will remain a responsible opposition and ask for actions from the BJP-led government, the NDA government, assuming that they come to power. Oja Johnson, Town Johnson, June 4th, couple of days from today, let's assume that your party wins in Manipur, both the states your party wins. What are your messages, or what is the party's advice to these candidates? What are they going? Let's already assume that your party, both the seats are won by your party, one NPF backed by your party. What are the important tasks ahead of them? So let's let our viewers know.
Let us be very clear, Priyobarta. See, a state issue can only be dealt and met by the state government. By all observations, by all possibilities, the only roadmap ahead of a particular state can only be solved by the state government by having a very strong relationship with the center. That is the fundamental basis of this whole federal structure of the democratic India.
True.
So on that basis, if you look and analyze things, I think we cannot solve our entire regional issues to the central government. As history tells by itself that this kind of thing have never happened in the northeast or any part of the India. The central government will only come and only have a chance to bring an amicable solution when the stakeholders of that core issue have an amicable or understanding among themselves. So I think we need to create a ground situation where these stakeholders, especially the parties, both the parties, must have that guts and that political will to come and sit together. Then only central government could do something. So I think we need to create that atmosphere in that political space first thing first.
Right.
So we cannot sort out everything to the central government to bring a magic wand and next 3-4 days will happen everything and what we want. I think that is not going to happen. And as an activist, as a politician now, I have this feeling that the central government, especially Sri Narendra Modi ji's government, are more confident in solving regional issues by the regional parties. That is the bottom line of this government. So perhaps the roadmap ahead should be initiated from our side, that is the state. So and also within that state, who are the stakeholders? There are so many other communities, the Nagas, the Kukis, the Meitei Pangals, and other smaller tribes.
Yes.
We must try to find out ways and means so that we are ready to talk about. So we will discuss in length and breadth of this current crisis. Then only we may approach the central leaders.
Sure.
So we cannot, the central leaders, if forcibly try to do anything against our interests, as a party man, I'm not going to buy to that, go down to that. That feeling is with the thousands and lakhs of people of Manipuris. So we must understand the reality. So I think we must work out as accordingly as the people want.
Right.
So I think our wisdom and our policies lies there.
Right. So in short, Townsend says newly elected MPs to carry the message of thousands of Manipuris to the central government, because it is us who have to, come to a table and then, approach the central government. I think we're slightly running out of time. Moza DEVABRATA, yes, I think you have a few thoughts on this. If your party members get elected, is it going to be the same? What are your top priorities in case they get elected?
No, the MP will do his duty.
Sure.
Once he's elected. If he's in the government, he can advise the government, particularly the issues concerning the state.
Right.
So his heart has to be with the issues. He must know it. He must have the capacity to brief the central government as well as state government.
Right.
But here in the case, if the state is everything to do, and is the whole thing happening in Manipur is a state issue, why the state, where the state was sitting for the last 13 months, it could have solved long time back. If government attended the issue in the second, third week of the May, the issues well, then it could have been normalized long time back. But no, why? Why it has been allowed to continue? That is the issue.
Right.
Secondly, it is the illegal immigrants that the central state government found it to be the cause. Narco-terrorism is the cross-international border crime. Other countries are involved. Stakeholders are there beyond our border. Then secondly, drug is international issue, is a global issue. So everybody is involved in this, particularly. Again, Sheikh Hasina said that USA is interested to establish a sovereign state in the midst of the Myanmar and the Bangladesh, of course, joining India. This is entirely the newer definition of this narco-terrorism, of course.
Right.
Where the state stands a chance to solve the issues. It is a very complex issue. The central government knows everything, have every information. They have the organization, they have the NIA, they have the CBI, they have the international investigative agencies. They have engaged so many infrastructure. They have so many infrastructure, not only in India, in other country also, to take stock of the country's interest.
Right.
So government of India is, of course, necessary to resolve this issue. Therefore, state government must understand that it is not him that is going to resolve this issue. He, along with the central government, have to resolve the issue, the crisis, to end it, everything. So therefore, at this point of time, we are not confused. Our MP can speak about, can create awareness in the country if we are in the opposition. If we are in power, suppose India bloc comes into power, who knows, the election counting day, everything could change, because this is called secret ballot.
True.
Exit poll is an imagination.
Sure.
Is touching the surface of the face of the unknown. It is imagination. It's like magical wand. It may be true in many ways.
Absolutely, you're right.
Therefore, I refuse to discuss much on the exit.
No problem.
Because it's not necessary 2 days only. Everybody can wait.
Absolutely.
But considering that, at this point of time, we all have to be very honest. Till then, Congress and its allies in Manipur, the 10 political party, in every kind of statement that we made concerning this crisis, we have not made any mistake, exaggeration, or misrepresentation, whatever it is, from the fact.
Right.
We are true to the core, through the issue, and we always demand the similar reactions from the government, true to the issue, and the resolve the crisis. Right. Because if we are placed in power, of course, we have already said, we can easily do in 2 to 3 months' time. There are feelings, there are feelers coming in our part to our party. Suppose if we come to India bloc comes into power, how to solve the issues? Suggestions are coming forward because ours is also alternative organization. If BJP does not performing, we are supposed to perform because this is our position.
Right.
This is our prima facie our position here. We are going to replace the BJP. BJP is not performing, being the second largest party in the state.
Right.
So therefore, at this point of time, we Congress party and our 9 other political parties, the 10 parties, we are observing the scenario very closely, and we understand it more than the BJP what is happening in the state. We have informations, we have reports, and we know it.
Right. Sure.
So we trust if once the NDA in the center also comes into power, no problem, because it is people's mandate. We have to respect the country defeat. If we are winning, then we will perform already.
Right.
That is our point. We have also very good chance of coming into power because in the morning today, Jairam Ramesh, General Secretary, Media and Communication, Express, the 295 is our figure. We may get or may not get it. It is the day after tomorrow. It will come out in the afternoon. It will be. Everyone will be
in a couple of days we'll know. I think Town Johnson wants to quickly add something.
Nothing to exaggerate, nothing to worry about.
Right.
If we do not come to power, we are opposition. That is automatically our place.
Sure, no problem. Town Johnson, yes. Rahul Gandhi said so.
All possibilities. The variation of the exit polls may be 10% up or 10% down. Even in that case, the NDA, the Indy alliance is reaching only 163 seats. So there is no question. There is no question of India alliance, India bloc.
No, we are also growing. We are less than that now. We are also growing.
No, I am speaking on the basis of what the exit poll have said.
Right.
So and again, I just want to make one last point.
Sure.
I don't know how the Congress will manage to end this issue in 2-3 months' time, when one party of the conflict have stuck up to the demand of separation from Manipur. I don't know how they're going to overcome that hurdle. I think for the BJP, as of now, we will not bog down to that kind of demand. We'll continue to hang on for 100 years if they don't withdraw their demand of separation from Manipur.
From there
and this is the clarity of our position.
We will continue with this. How can we handle it?
Absolutely. I mean, both
are very strong party. Yes. We are not like the BJP.
Yes.
Can't do anything.
I don't know, but maybe we'll give some.
No problem.
No, we have demonstrated what we did.
Some highlights or some lights on how they're going to deal with this issue when party have started with a demand of not going to take back their demand, not an inch of their earlier demand of separation from.
We are not cowards.
I mean, for at least for viewers, it's a positive thing that both BJP and Congress says that we will not bow down and stuff. So that's a positive thing for the viewers. Last word from Ozan Nabakishore. You've heard both sides. Ozan Nabakishore, sticking to the poll again. Do you think, like you say, you yourself contested the election last time, you lost by a small margin. Do you think this time around, because of the crisis, it's a different election? Have the voters voted differently this time, or is it going to be an usual election and will end this?
Yeah, especially I think this crisis has been taken into account by the voters when they are exercising their franchise.
Right.
And that would have resulted, I think, some kind of a better, the vote for the Congress candidate. That is my anticipation. I also just would like to beg to differ with Johnson regarding solution to our problem. He says that the state government has to solve the problem, not the central government. But anyway, there was a certain point of time, say maybe up to the first week of May 2023, when the crisis erupted. Had the state government acted promptly and with a forceful manner, state government could have solved the problem. Now it's more than 1 year. Things are quite different, and especially the cookie. I think let's call a spade a spade. The cookie, leadership or cookie civil society who are on the other side. They are stuck to the point. Certain points like that, and they don't want to talk with the present chief minister is in power or something like that. They're taking certain stand, and they're also saying that they want separate administration. Whatever they say is not going to be considered. There are so many assurance also given by the Home Minister saying that Manipur's territorial integrity will be protected. Nevertheless, as a people of Manipur, we expect restoration of peace and normalcy either by the state government or by the central government or by both. So long as the cat catches the rat, whether it's black or white, it does not matter. It doesn't make any difference. But we should not stick to a stand that saying that the problem has to be solved by the state government. I wish the state government is able to solve the problem.
Sure.
But the general perception in Manipur is that if the central government comes into the picture, if it is acts on certain front through negotiation or by using force or by some kind of action, the problem could be solved. So that is our expectation. If my only expectation is that central government, whether our MP goes and tells the central government or not, that is not going to make much difference, because the central government is seized of this problem. It is their headache, and I'm sure they will try to solve this problem as soon as possible, not allow it to linger for another 100 years as Johnson says. It should not linger for a few more months also. It should be resolved as soon as possible.
Completely out of time, I think you want to very quickly.
I have to clarify my position. This is NABAKISHORE has strongly construed what I have said. What I meant was that the initiative has to be taken by the state government. Now that initiative must be there first, that we cannot solve out everything to the central government to resolve the issue. When we don't have an understanding among ourselves, among the stakeholders. Now state is a complementary of all the stakeholders. So I think probably on that basis we can move forward. The central leader would have very less time in finding a means, an option to bring about a amicable solution to this crisis. So that is what I have meant.
No problem.
And the last part is, I think I must again reiterate that whatever we want, whatever we have wanted, we are stuck with our demand also. We also are. We cannot have any kind of separation, any form of separation in the present existence. What I have also tried to talk about is in the earlier discussion also, that we cannot allow agenda which are unacceptable or which are totally against the integrity and unity of Manipur to be on a list where it will create another negative benchmark. Say for example, if we say what NABAKISHORE has said is correct, so we may not consider to their demands, but if that demand is there in the agenda, so after 10 years, 20 years, it will again boomerang again on us. Again 20 years that the same agenda was there in 2024 peace talk. So we do not want to create that kind of situation in the future. So perhaps on that we are lingering on with the difficulties and uncertainty that we are facing right now. But I think probably with the passage of time, no one wants to continue in this situation for long. So when the third Modi government comes back to power in next few days, and probably we will have a new horizon of resolving this crisis in a very near future.
Thank you so much. Maybe next time, we're running out of time today. DEVABRATA from Congress feels they have a chance, or Johnson from BJP still feels they have a chance as well. So we'll know in a couple of days from today. That is all we have for today. We've completely run out of time. Johnson, DEVABRATA, NABAKISHORE, thank you gentlemen so much for taking part in this debate. It's been a healthy discussion. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us. That is all we have in this episode. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Until then, goodbye.